This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen. Thankfully,
Hi.
One of our favorite guests. You know, Owen, you are my new favorite guest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if you're, I guess co-host. You're not really a guest anymore. I think you're official
Series
co-host.
regular.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. We're giving you the gaming news like we do every single week, live on the interwebs, as Boogie says, through the power of the internet. And I love Boogie, so I had to throw that in. We got some gaming news like we do every week. This week we have some interesting stuff. Starting out, we got PUBG on PS4 starting December 7th, crossplay. Right?
Crossplay with what?
Are they crossplay? I thought they were crossplay. Am I giving you the wrong news?
What do you mean via crossplay?
I may have misread this. Confirmed release date. Oh, release date. Oh, PUBG. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Fortnite. Sorry, PUBG.
Okay, I was like,
God,
no way.
This is what happens. Sorry, PUBG on PS4, December 7th, just in time for Christmas. I liked PUBG back in the day. I'm just not digging it now. But I haven't played it in I should say I haven't dug it in like over a year. When was the last time you played PUBG?
So I put 500-ish hours into PUBG on PC. The last time I played it was probably earlier this summer.
Okay.
And it just became a thing, and the reason why I don't care, don't care that it's on PlayStation, but also I'm kind of a little upset that it's on PlayStation, is the fact that they don't have a great product. From a realism standpoint and everything, honestly, PUBG is still one of the best BRs out there because of what it brings to the table that Black Ops and Fortnite do not, and that is it's pretty realistic in terms of how many shots it takes to die, that kind of thing. But they haven't put the amount of proper care into making their game run extremely well. It still runs not great on Xbox, and that's even on Xbox One X that it doesn't run well on. It's not going to run well on PlayStation.
Yeah, and is this still running on the Arma 2 engine?
No, it became a separate thing. They actually put it on whatever Fortnite's on. Is Fortnite on Unreal?
I want to say it's Unreal, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that was the thing. That was why they tried to sue Epic before, is because Epic owns Unreal.
That's right.
And they were like, "Hey, we put our game on your thing, and then now you just happen to have Fortnite on here." And Epic's like, "Well, we own Unreal, and none of your crappy code's in here." But you can see that there's a lack of support there, where how well Fortnite runs and how not well PUBG runs.
Yeah,
it's just never optimized for anything. They can't optimize it for PC. And they haven't been able to optimize it for Xbox. It's not going to get optimized for PS4.
It's sad. It's gonna be best on PC. This is definitely one that's always gonna be best on PC. Plus, you have the community who will make tweaks if needed, and it's really gonna run better always there. And the fact that it doesn't run that well on Xbox One X, I did hear people who were talking about like the servers were lagging so much that like you would lag, a bullet should have hit someone and like it would just completely miss them.
The desync is terrible.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The hitboxes apparently were just stupid. So,
it has to do with how the server, they call it desync, and it's only because I watch a lot of BR stuff, which is why I can talk about this. But the desync is where I shoot at you, and you could be behind a tree on your screen, but on my screen you're right in front of me.
Gotcha.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I know that one of the ways they're trying to get around that is essentially the hitbox of, like, if you're seeing them, like you said, yeah, you're right, it's desync, because if you're seeing the person and you have a shot but they're slightly lagged, because we're playing with people around the world. I mean, right. I'm playing Dark Souls. Last night I played Dark Souls, and someone came into my game that was playing in like Australia or something. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I had no idea, but that kind of lag, you're gonna have issues, and
for sure.
Yeah, that's why LAN gaming is the best.
I mean, honestly, you get other games like Fortnite which run perfectly well. It just has to do with how they built the game originally, but it slightly infuriates me that they're bothering to expand it to another console without like giving you as close to a perfect product as possible on the stuff that already exists. If it's make it run amazing on Xbox One X, and I'll believe that you can make it run on PlayStation.
Sure, no, I agree. Xbox One X is the premier console. I mean, you can say what you want about PS4. I love my PS4, but you're talking about pure hardware and support. If you like look at the devs, like when they're really trying to benchmark something, they try to push something, then they go to the Xbox One X. That's what Bethesda's doing. That's what a lot of other companies are doing. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like, looks just insane on the Xbox One X. PS4, it looks good. It's not as good. So,
however, if you do want to subject yourself to that, again, I put 500 hours in PUBG, so it's not like I'm completely dissing the game, but I did it on PC, and even then it was a little rough. But if you do pre-order the game, you can get Uncharted and Last of Us skins in the game.
Yeah,
which, cool.
I'm maybe. I mean,
it's better than the Joker and Harley skin they did on PC.
I agree. But to me, I say what you want about Fortnite. Fortnite's gameplay is solid. It's not, to me, what it's trying to do, what it set out, what it tried to accomplish, and exceeded at what it tried to accomplish, at what its goals were. Where PUBG is trying to do quite a few things all at once. If it just, like you said, if it ran better, that's great. But if this was a single-player experience, it wouldn't be as big of a deal.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'll never trash Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite for a number of reasons, but it's a fantastic game. And what's crazy, like, you think about Fortnite and what it started out as was a single-player, like, it was technically a multiplayer game, but it was a survival tower building game that they turned into a BR, which is amazing in itself.
Well, and until... like, they just stopped advertising the fact that there was going to be a single-player Fortnite that was supposed to come out. Yeah. And they stopped advertising that because I was talking to my nephew about it, and he started getting into Fortnite. I'm like, there's the full game is supposed to come out at one point. And he's like, really? What is it? I'm like, I don't know. It's single-player something. And then they had the whatever the single-player is called, something the world, Save the World or whatever it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they added that to it, and I'm like, oh, is this what it's going to be? Because they reevaluated their model. They realized everyone wants to play the Battle Royale version of this.
Well, Save the World actually came first. Save the World, okay. Save the World came first, and it was out for several months before they made Fortnite BR.
I didn't know that.
And it's a paid game.
I know.
I think it's like $20 to $30. And then PUBG came out and H1Z1, and they made. Because I mean, it originally PUBG, the guy that did it on an Arma 3 mod, and then H1Z1 came out, which is PlayerUnknown also worked on that, and then PlayerUnknown made PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and then Fortnite turned their Save the World thing and made that BR mode and made it for free.
Yes.
You didn't even have. It was a beta. You didn't have to buy Save the World to do the BR, and then explosion.
So it was after that. I guess it wasn't during Save the World because. Yeah. Save the World was already out. Fortnite was already out, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have this single-player game." And I'm like, "When?" Like, there's trailers out, and I'm like, "Okay, when is this gonna happen?" And I think they realized they're like, "There's no money in it. Why?"
And they've made something stupid, like a couple $1 billion already.
Something like that.
It's an insane number.
The average person, I can't remember the exact number, but the average Fortnite player has spent it's either $82 or $87 on the game.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, you get me on a pay to play type or pay to whatever type game. Like, I've spent more money than I'm proud to admit in Pokemon Go.
Well, yeah, but it's not pay to win. It's
pay to
like
skin.
A skin, pay to skin, which I'm okay with. I'm fine with that because you're giving developers money. You're supporting your developer in that way. That's fine. Speaking of giving people money, Chicago has a new cloud tax that's coming out. And PlayStation, it's going to hit PlayStation's streaming purchases. Some streaming purchases, like their videos, and to me, I think this is interesting because we already have PlayStation already has a tax added to it, but there's not a state tax involved. I think that's really what what we're seeing here is a state or city, I guess.
It's a city.
Yeah, it's a city, because city and state can tax separately. And the city's like, hey, everyone is streaming things from the cloud, and they view it as essentially that is money that's not going into brick and mortar stores, which we all know. I mean, when I order stuff on Amazon, it's not going to the local shop down the road. Sure.
You remember when Amazon was tax-free?
Oh man, that was so.
Those were the days.
First couple years I had Amazon Prime, it was tax-free. I was like, this is amazing.
This is along the same lines, except they are doing something extremely interesting. Honestly, this is only going to affect the consumers, in my opinion, but because this doesn't just affect video games. This is cloud taxing means it affects Netflix, it affects Hulu. Everybody who wants to cut cable like I did and switch to Sling TV or DirecTV Now or PlayStation View or Hulu TV or
9%.
That's all.
Tax. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. 9%. I mean, okay. So if let's say you put everything together that you're paying for in bundles. If you had bundled it all together, which obviously it's not, because it's a la carte. Netflix. Let's say you do Netflix, Hulu. I don't know if Amazon Prime comes into this, because Amazon Prime is a membership to their.
No, that was just me remembering what it was like, because you mentioned the brick and mortar thing.
Yeah.
So Amazon bypassed brick and mortar, but then eventually they had to get taxed.
Well, I'm just thinking like. All of the streaming services. So I pay for a handful of those. So let's just say it was $50. Put on 9% for easy, round it up to 10 for easy numbers. It's another $5 every month. Well, if you're paying for, let's say you're paying for rentals of movies, that goes on there. It's going to add up.
Because I mean, if you think about like the sales tax in Texas is 8.25% now, so I'm gonna pay that sales tax 8.25 plus an additional 9%. So I mean, you're talking about an almost 20% tax. If I'm renting a movie for $5, that just increased by what, $1?
Yeah.
So your $5 movie becomes $6. If that applies to streaming services like Netflix, where you're talking about like the $9.99 per month plus another 9%, that's
it really sucks. Well, I don't know if you know about like how they do how ISPs in New Zealand work and some other countries. It's a la carte, so you pay this, and this is what we've been fighting to not have in America, because in New Zealand, one of my friends, actually my coworkers, went to New Zealand, and he was messaging me like pictures of their plans, where he's like, hey, I can get my Wi-Fi and I can get a social media pass for the day or a streaming pass for the day, and that lets him access Netflix even though he already pays Netflix. So
yeah, the only thing that would make me okay with this is wondering what Chicago's going to do with the tax money. Are you putting it back in your community? Are you putting it into education? What are you doing with the money?
Agreed. If it's going to, like you said, education, community, things that are actually going to help infrastructure, that's fantastic. That's where I want to see it go. I don't want to see it go.
Or them roads we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's different podcast topic for a different kind of podcast.
Okay. We'll get off of that. We'll get off of roads because we'll go to something that doesn't.
We're going. We don't even need roads.
You beat me to it. So completely nonsensical segue. Wizards Unite is apparently going to come out in 2019. The game that has been rumored since 2017. This is the Harry Potter Pokemon Go. Harry Potter Go. I'm glad that it's finally coming out. I do like Harry Potter. Before I get people hating on me, I like Harry Potter. I enjoy it. I'm gonna go see Fantastic Beasts probably on Sunday. The next Tales of Grindelwald.
Man, I saw the Rotten Tomatoes on that. I was not pleased.
Well, I'm getting the AMC A-list pass because we see movies a lot. So I was like, I'm just going to do this and save a lot of money. So I'm going to go see that. And I mean, I like Harry Potter, but I think it's ran its course.
That's a no, sir. I mean, not for me. Again, we're not the right fan to be hosting this show to talk about this. As the other host would probably have a lot more positive things to say about it. But what I will say, if it's made by Niantic, right?
Yes.
So if Niantic is making it, I will say it will be a good game. Ingress, the first one before Pokemon Go existed, Ingress was great. Pokemon Go pretty much just skinned Ingress with Pokemon, which is the smartest decision they've ever made. I still play Pokemon Go to this day. I believe that if you're a Harry Potter fan, you will probably have a quality game in terms of like the social thing. If it's something where it's like, we're gonna go out into the forest and we're gonna go fight a troll, and you have to go GPS on your map and go fight that troll, it's gonna be big, just like Pokemon was. It's not gonna be as big as Pokemon, honestly, because sorry, Harry Potter, you're just not Pokemon.
You're not Pokemon.
But it's gonna be quality.
It's gonna be quality, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try it. If it's good, I'm gonna tell you it's good. I just I feel like it doesn't have the weight of a Star Wars.
Sure.
And I feel like
if you gave me that would be a bad thing for my wallet.
A what?
If you gave me a Star Wars game,
a Star Wars Go or whatever.
Like Star Wars Go, yeah,
it'd be great. That being said, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try it out. I know there's a ton of my friends who are really looking forward to it. That's why I say I'm gonna get some hate talking about that.
Sure.
But I like Harry Potter. I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like it has the depth of Star Wars or Dune or other series that could do so much better.
I'll disagree there too. Whenever you said it's run its course, you just said that you're gonna go see the Fantastical Beasts Part 2. That in itself is saying it hasn't run its course, especially since that movie series is they've already calculated it out to 5 movies or something like that. Insane.
Yeah, and I've heard it's crap. I'm gonna go see it because I like train wrecks. Also because did you see the first one?
Yeah, of course.
I forgot the guy's name, but the baker and Queenie, like, that was like the best part of the movie. Like the fact that they, like, I was like, that is just amazing. I love the two of them. I want to see them more than I want to see anything else. And I think that I'm curious.
The only thing I want to see is Jude Law. Give me some Jude Law.
Oh yeah.
I want a beautiful Dumbledore. That's what I want.
It's just weird to me though, like, that he goes from looking like Jude Law, and then in, like, what is it, 45 years afterwards, then he.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Like
this, because he's already at this point, like, what, 300 or 400 years old.
I think Dumbledore died. I think he was like 110.
I thought he was older than that because he worked on the Sorcerer's Stone, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let us know in the comments, all you Potterheads. I'm pretty sure he's
so.
older than that.
I think the world has plenty of depth. I do think JK needs to stop talking about it. It's her universe. She can do whatever she wants. So I'll never be like, hey, I'm not going to listen to JK anymore. But the more times that she twists things around instead of just kind of letting it be, because we also saw that leak that happened, I want to say about a month ago now, with the guy who had the cell phone in his pocket that videoed his mall testing, like watching the video.
Yeah.
And everybody went nuts because that game. So to say that it's run its course, I'm going to have to say no.
Okay, so speaking of Rowling, she said in an interview that he was about 150, but the website and everything has him dated as being born in 1881, so he would have been 115 or 116 years old. I'm right, and she's wrong. So, boom. I only remember that because someone was joking, saying, like, that Dumbledore lived to like 115, and then Voldemort like died at like 70, and he created all these Horcruxes to do it. So if he just, like, you know, eating his vegetables and, like, taking care of himself, he would have lived longer.
Yeah. I thought that he had drank from the stone too, so maybe it was just the creator of the stone that drank and had lived quite a long time.
I don't know. But either way, he got old real quick. So
yeah.
Either way, speaking of old, Command & Conquer Red Alert.
There you go. There's your segue.
There we go. Remastering coming out with microtransactions, because everything will come with microtransactions.
Sure.
This does not surprise me after seeing what they did with the Command & Conquer mobile game that was announced.
This is what people would have been happier with. You remember the outrage over that mobile game?
Yeah, it was almost as bad as the Diablo outrage, but it was pretty bad because everyone went, Command & Conquer is so PC-centric. Okay, there's been a Command & Conquer, I think, that hit console.
It's terrible.
It was terrible.
It ran crap.
Diablo hit console back in the day. If you don't
just like most RTSs on console.
Oh yeah, StarCraft on console sucks. That's not the place to play these games. Final Fantasy may be one of the only MMOs that I've ever played.
Baby.
Well, no, I was going to say Final Fantasy 14. Like, one of the only ones I've seen play on a console that I played and went, oh, this actually works. Because usually I
rated on console.
You did rate on console. Like, I love World of Warcraft. I played Star Wars Galaxies. I played Guild Wars. I played Final Fantasy 14. And that was the first one that I was like, this actually works. Because the others I could not imagine being on console. Command and Conquer does not need to be there. No, if they did they're doing a it's not in here, it should be on here, but the World of Warcraft 3, sorry, not World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3 Reforged that they're doing.
Yeah.
If they said, oh yeah, we're also going to put that on PS4, I'd be like, you're losing your minds. You've lost touch with reality.
Totally not enough keyboard command for that.
No, it just wouldn't work. So, but like you said, I would, if they had said this, I'm not upset at this because I think the game's probably still going to be solid. I'm not upset with it.
And by the way, it says no microtransactions.
Oh, I thought it said with. Okay, good.
The headline was making the joke about the mobile game.
Okay. See, that's what happens when Patrick is too busy today and didn't get to read. I had a heck of a day at work, so
yeah, I understand.
I'm glad you read up on that one a little bit more. I was reading up on other things like the gaming nominations, which I'm honestly really happy about these nominees. We got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I think is a solid choice. I think so. You played 4 out of 6 of these.
4 out of 6.
I think
the only ones I have not played is AC and Monster Hunter.
So I've played 5 out of 6, and I bet you can guess which one I didn't play.
Monster Hunter.
No, Celeste. I've
really
played Celeste. I need to for
Celeste
so many reasons. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm having a real hard, like, in terms of just picking out of the 6 on this list, I'm having a hard time not picking Celeste. It is probably, and that's without having played 2 of them, but out of the 4 that I have played, it's the only game where I literally have 0 complaints about.
Did you play it on Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. This game
Perfect.
This game like sings of Switch when I watch it. God of War. Okay, this to me these are there's 3 contenders to me. God of War, which I think is one of the most solid games to come out. And I love the God of War franchise, but we
discussed it last week during our Best of the Franchise.
We did, because this game is so amazing. But what's also amazing is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The gameplay, the story, the way that they retold Spider-Man, similar to, actually in a better way than Gotham did, and I would say, what's a better analogy is the way Telltale did Batman. Is how I feel they did Spider-Man on this. They said, we're going to change up some things. And
I was about to say, you were about to go down a really interesting path if you're going to challenge Arkham with Spider-Man.
No,
although I had more fun.
I like Arkham. No, Arkham was good, but it didn't really play with the mythos. And this changed up quite a few things that I don't think ruined Spider-Man or ruined any characters. Didn't ruin any of the heart of Spider-Man, and it did it in a really interesting way. And Red Dead, you and I have been playing, which
Chapter 4, finally.
Chapter 4. Okay, see, I'm still on Chapter 1 because I've been playing other things. But I think Red Dead may get it for the sheer scope. You can say some negative things about the game, but the overall scope of this game is amazing in regards to the NPCs and the weather, just everything about it I love.
If I was gonna say there's the who I want to win versus who I think is gonna win. I don't think Spider-Man stands a chance as much as I love it. I honestly think it'll go to God of War.
Definitely,
but
it's not gonna go to Monster Hunter.
No, and a really great nod, by the way. I was super happy for that, even though I haven't played it and I want to. The fact that Capcom had such a comeback year this year, and it was so fun to see. You had Mega Man, you had Monster Hunter. Man, what else did they do? They did something in the middle of the year that was just also really cool. There was Mega Man 11. There was Monster Hunter. I feel like they made something else, didn't they? There was something else really cool that Capcom did this year, and I can't put my finger on it. I'll have to figure it out later.
Other than I can't think of anything.
But super cool for them of what they were able to. A company that you really hadn't heard about in the last couple of years, outside of kind of laughing at them. Marvel vs. Capcom failed.
Locking in DLC on a disc. That kind of stuff is just ridiculous.
But I think God of War will take it because, even though I would probably put it 4th on my list of those 4 that I've played. Yeah. I think what everybody else thought of it, and the fact that people have very few complaints about God of War, and I just think every time I talk about Red Dead, they're the people who are looking past the mistakes, but I keep not looking past them like that. As much as I'm really enjoying it, at the same time I'm like, this is one of the jankiest games I've ever played.
I was just gonna say I didn't like the skinning the animals over and over and over and seeing that animation over and over and over again. Like, I thought was repetitive.
And it's something maybe, I don't know if we're ever going to spoiler cast it just based on it, but the RPG mechanics that they added in there are not fun. Like, I don't need 90 items that do the same exact thing in terms of replenishing my cores. Like, I know you said you're only in chapter 1, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but in terms of picking things up, there's a point where you have your rotary dial thing, and one section I have cheese, crackers, canned fish, baked beans, canned fruit, cigarettes, premium cigarettes, gin, whiskey, brandy.
Yeah.
The majority of those do the same thing.
It's more in depth. There's more variety in the foods in this than there are in Fallout games.
Yeah.
Like,
and I didn't cool, I guess, but it's not like you ever see him eat it. It's not like there's like a little animation that he like opens up the can and like there's the thing that you can see where he like pulls it out of his pocket, dumps it in his throat, and then throws the can away. But
they do marginally the same thing. Some of them it's like, oh, it's a little bit of health and a little bit of stamina. And I'm like, okay, but so does this thing does the same thing. Like, to me, and then I think they could have streamlined that.
The core system also just dumb. Like, there's your core, which talks about how quickly you replenish your meters, and there's 3 meters. There's stamina, your health, and something else that I don't really... Oh, your Deadeye.
Yeah.
And that's fine, Deadeye, I guess. But the fact that there's a core inside that talks about how much you replenish, and then there's their actual meter, that I still don't get, and I'm probably 30 hours into the game. I just eat the stuff and replenish it. But if your system doesn't make sense, and if you have too many... It's those little things where I'm just like, this is not what makes this game enjoyable. The story is enjoyable. Arthur Morgan is very enjoyable.
I'll say Assassin's Creed does a lot of what Red Dead does better in regards
I've heard that.
Yeah. And now, it's obviously a very different game.
Yeah.
But in regards to the tedium of Red Dead, Assassin's Creed does it better. At the same time, it just depends. Like, do you want to be in ancient Greece or do you want to be a cowboy? Like, they're two very different games, even though they're third-person action-y games. And what a time to be in where we have this variety. Because back in the day, it was like, it's a shooter, it's a puzzle, and now we have so much variety. It's just amazing.
I've heard nothing but good things about AC Origins, and I know that it's probably not going to win anything, but it made me want to pick it, or not Origins, Odyssey. But the fact, again, I'm really happy for Ubisoft, and the fact that their flagship game that's not Just Dance, like, Just Dance is the thing that makes them money, but Assassin's Creed, honestly, it's been the butt of some jokes in the last couple of years, and then Origins was like, oh wait, maybe we've been a little wrong about Ubisoft, or Ubisoft finally listened to their fans, and then Odyssey comes out, and apparently it's that much better than Origins.
One thing I appreciate with them was they said, hey, we realized we're pushing these things out like way too quick. There's obviously a ridiculous amount of bugs, but the quality wasn't there. It wasn't it wasn't up to the level of an Assassin's Creed Black Flag or Assassin's Creed 2. And they said, hey, we're going to slow down. We're not going to do it every year. They did Odyssey. They did Origins and Odyssey, which people said was a reskin, but it's not. And then my guess is they'll skip this next year unless they have something big to come out with. They're purposely saying, hey, we want to pace ourselves, which I think is good artistically, and it's also good because they got oversaturated. I mean, there were years where there were 2 Assassin's Creed games coming out in the same year. They had Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Rogue, because Rogue came out only on the 360. It's like, what the heck?
This goes back to what we were talking about last week, where I got a little heated about other franchise, like long-running franchises, not giving care to their brand.
Yeah.
You have fans out there that are huge fans of Assassin's Creed, and they were like, we keep buying your game, but when's it gonna be like great? Like, when's it gonna be AC2? When's it gonna be AC4?
Which sucks because we like to say, you vote with your wallet, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, with Diablo, like, if a game like the new Diablo game that comes out, if you have to pay to start playing it on mobile, I'm not touching it. If it's free, I'll give it a shot. But there are people out there who will pay just to try it out.
Just because.
And
there's a friend of mine who's the only games he owns pretty much on his PC and in general, he plays Madden on his console, and then otherwise he buys Blizzard games.
Yeah.
Like, I told him about Warcraft 3 Reforged. He's like, dude, I already pre-ordered it 10 minutes ago.
I mean, and I'll be honest, I'm going to play Warcraft 3 Reforged. I love Warcraft 3.
Absolutely.
But personally, I would also love to see a remaster of Warcraft 2, of Diablo 2. Those games are just amazing. But like, I think you and I were talking about this last week. Diablo 2 already still holds up so well that I don't really have to do that.
No.
And apparently there's a thing that I'm going to try out. I may stream this, but there's a thing called, I think it's called Diablo of Exile. So it's like it's a Diablo patch update, whatever. I don't know if it's a new version of the game, but they're like, it's Diablo 2 but even better. So I got to try that. Yeah.
So I give respect to Ubisoft for, one, making a game so good to get noticed like this, but also for recognizing that they need to care about a brand that has taken them this far that their fans very much appreciate.
Agreed.
So shout out to them, but I think God of War is still going to win just because I don't think very many people had very many complaints about God of War.
No, God of War is going to win. I think you're right. After having the discussion about it, I think you're probably right on that. But let us know.
That said, Celeste, probably my game of the year.
So I got to play Celeste. Let us know in the comments which game you think is going to win Game of the Year, and let us know if there's any news that we missed out on.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.